All right, we get to move from that very graceful performance to some quiet bravery that you're going to hear about. We have a couple of special guests tonight to emphasize the important work that Project Safe does every single day. So please join me in welcoming one of Project Safe's special guests tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I want to thank Project Safe for helping me escape and for giving me the chance to share my story. Domestic violence was something I knew from a young age. My mother was a survivor, but I never thought that I would follow in her footsteps. I met Jake in college. He was charming, attentive. He made me feel special, but that attention quickly turned to control. He struggled with addiction, and the red flags were there, but I ignored them. Then the abuse started, first with words, threats, manipulation, isolation. Then it became physical. One night, after drinking, he attacked me, kicking me, throwing me, and the next thing I knew, my head hit the dresser. I woke up with my hair matted in blood, and still I stayed. I believed he could change. We moved in together, got engaged, got married, but the violence never stopped. He destroyed my belongings, threatened to flush my wedding ring down the toilet, made me feel worthless. When I became pregnant, I hoped our daughter would change him. Instead, he grew worse. Everything broke in February 2024. His drinking escalated, his threats became real, and I knew my life and my daughter's were in danger. With my father's help and support from Project Safe, I left. I filed for a protective order, and I started over. The journey hasn't been easy, but I'm here, I'm safe, I'm alive, and I'm healing, and I'm stronger than I've ever thought possible. Domestic violence isn't always obvious. It doesn't always start with bruises. It can be emotional, psychological. It can be hidden behind a smile. But there is hope, and there is help through Project Safe. If my story reaches just one person who feels trapped, then speaking out is worth it. Thank you all. Thank you. Appreciate it too.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So we can't always have a guest speaker. Sometimes it is not safe to share publicly, and sometimes legal matters have to be concluded before details can be discussed. And even when they can, people may not want to talk about these experiences. So we've talked tonight about breaking chains and listening to Lena, who you just heard, share so honestly. You can hear more of those links breaking because shame is its own prison, and though they don't deserve it, many survivors do carry that weight.
They carry that weight and so much more. But Project Safe is here to help them carry it. And it's really such a big problem. Sometimes you wonder, is this really happening right here, right now? In a word, yes. But don't take my word for it, because the numbers speak for themselves. In 2024 alone, Project Safe took 399 calls on their emergency hotline and another 199 on their text line.
And that's an average of almost 10 people every single day in our community feeling unsafe enough to contact a crisis line. So 10 people every single day in need of the services that Project Safe provides.
And now we praise them. We praise them for their
Yes.
work,
Yep.
but it's also every one of you who makes these services possible.
Yeah.
And just remember, every dollar that you donate tonight brings another dollar in our match from the McElroy Foundation.